Hi, sweet loves. I am here to do a love reading. Spirit has been intuitively leading me to start this channel. I do a plethora of other things, but messages and divining and channeling information and messages from the spirit realm is certainly something that I am extremely gifted at. And the angelic realm, the beings of love and light, the Sweetwater goddesses, and so many other beautiful, benevolent energies have come to support me on my journey. And I have the utmost support and encouragement to deliver messages to the collective about matters of love, life, transformation, career, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and deliver a quick reading to get this all started off. If you like this channel, please ensure that you like the video. If things resonate with you, definitely like the video. If you feel that the content is something that can assist you on your journey, you certainly want to subscribe, share it with your friends and others who may benefit. I am going to do a quick shuffle for integrity's sake. I've already consecrated and prayed over this sacred space and all of the divination tools that I will be using today. And I want to just dive in for a quick love reading. Again, I always say this: take what resonates, leave what does not. What's for you is for you. What isn't for you, let it fade away. So I'm just going to go ahead and whoa, okay. Reunion of souls, grounding, retreat. If I feel the need to hold the card up, I will do so. Otherwise, I typically just channel, not necessarily according to the standard depiction or the standard outline or oracle message that the card lays out, but more so my own telepathic, intuitive, clairsentient, clairvoyant messages that spirit gives me. And so right off the bat, the card reunion of souls, forgiveness, grounding, retreat, perception. What I'm gathering intuitively so far is that I'm channeling information for a collective, a group of individuals who either are in separation with their divine counterpart or have yet to meet the person, their person. That's what we'll refer to as the person that they'd like to be with or take up a journey with in this lifetime. I'm reading that there's somewhat of the word reunion lets me know that there's something that had been either connected and is no longer, or let me not say connected, physically in contact, but there is no longer contact, or again, individuals who have yet to meet their person. And so I channel from various different divination decks based on intuitive leading from the spirit. I'm going to use the Osho Zen deck. I'll try my best to post exactly what decks I use, but bear with me if I don't. Some of these messages, again, they are highly spirit led, and so when spirit says move and deliver a message, I do that. Okay. All right. I am channeling for a collective who is in separation, is what I'll refer to. I don't like to use the terms twin flame, soulmate, divine counterpart. I use them. I don't like to use them in a sense where they are the defining factors of the type of connection that I will refer to for my readings. And so these readings are for whatever type of dynamic you have, whether it's a soulmate, whether it's a twin flame, whether it is a marriage, just the regular way of seeing and or perceiving in referring to someone that you are in love with, someone that you want to have a harmonious connection with, someone that you are in relationship with. So in other words, I say all that to say, just go ahead and disregard any terms, although I may use them interchangeably, if that makes sense. All right. So let's see. Ha ha ha. This is such a reunion message. Oh my goodness. I'm going to hold the cards up. This is a reunion message. We have the Ace of Wands and the Reunion of Souls. I forget what this deck is. I'll find out which deck it is. This one right here. And what I'm getting again is I'm channeling a collective who certainly has experienced some sort of separation from their person. And this is the thing, yo. Like, what had to happen, it was essential. It was necessary, because what love does to so many of us, and love does something where it pulls you into the 12th house. It pulls you, if you guys know anything about astrology, astrology is the house of the zodiac, which outlines and governs the house of fantasy, the house of euphoria, the drug house, the spiritual house, a house of energy, a house of hidden aspects of the self or of life, the house of foreign land, so many aspects to the 12th house. But love does that to us. It gets us high. I believe when lovers come into contact and they experience each other, whether it be through touch, conversation, or whatever form of connectivity lovers experience, there's the drug called oxytocin that is released into the body. So love, if you've ever heard the term before, love is a drug. And so with that, with all the passion and the drugs, and it's nature's way of connecting people in order to procreate. And that procreation can be for a physical baby and or a spiritual energy, a creative energy, just to come together and make something happen. Nature will give, or nature has bestowed upon us, that oxytocin, so that it can act as glue for lovers, act as glue for mates. It's that birds and the bees terminology or phrase that we know so well. And so I say all that to say that the separation had to happen. The separation had to happen. It had to happen because although love is a drug, and although it feels good, and although that oxytocin, all of the euphoria that we feel as lovers is good, inspiring, it catalyzes our creative abilities and mechanics to get to work and begin to flow. Although all of those things are good for us, it can take us outside of our physical bodies, outside of what grounds us in this material plane, and which keeps us centered and focused on and balanced, essentially. So it had to happen. The separation had to happen for grounding purposes. And the grounding was about a level of achievement. That could be career. It could be the ability to detach from someone without running to another person for codependent reasons. It could be conquering and dispelling or overcoming rather codependency. It could be overcoming love addiction. This was an essential, an integral part of your journey as a lover. Lovers come in as mirrors to show us who we are, show us our light and our shadow sides. And so with this source card, what I'm getting is this lover was meant to come in. Yes, there were tumultuous times, there were trials, there was tribulation. The separation was nasty. It was sort of mean and ugly, because I'm getting the forgiveness card at the bottom of the deck, along with guilt at the bottom of the deck. Both these cards are the underlying energies of today's message. What does that tell me intuitively is you have to understand that everything that happened was essential and necessary. It was a shadow boxing match. That's what it was. Both yous were shadow boxing with yourselves in the same ring, if that makes sense. Both of you were shadow boxing with yourself in the same ring. And although the euphoria felt oh so good, and although it catalyzed a whole bunch of creative movement for the both of you, You still needed to learn the ability to master, rather, the ability to ground yourself in this material plane. And what does grounding look like for you now? Now you are able to check yourself. I'm going to say this, to check yourself before you wreck yourself. What does that mean? It means you were able, with the retreat card and the comparison card, you were able, now you're able, right? Now you're able to check yourself. Now you're able to come into union and say, why am I acting funky right now? Why am I triggered? What does this trigger mean for me? Is it the other person? Whereas in the past, that's exactly what either one of you would have done, is point the finger and blame the other for the way you are feeling about yourself. But essentially, really, it's you. There is no bad guy. There's just the antagonist. Like there's always an antagonist in a good story plot. You had to experience this lover who ruptured some veils or walls that you've created for yourself, ruptured the ego construct that you've built up over the years with people who didn't mirror to you your shadow side or your shadow self, those aspects of you, that unhealed trauma. You're now able to come back into connection with this lover, this divine counterpart, your person. You're now able to do that, right? But you're able to do it with a clear, sound mind. You're able to do it critically. You're able to do it without pointing the finger for how you feel. You can recognize like, yo, these are my feelings. These are my feelings. So ownership is a overarching theme for what you've conquered. Ownership of how you feel and why you feel that way. Now, it does not mean that you are not supposed to relate and mirror and connect with another for the sake of experiencing good and bad experiences, right? But it doesn't mean that you won't have to sit at the table with them or sit pillow talk with them about, hey, I felt this way today. When you did X, Y, and Z, that made me feel this way. I don't know necessarily why I feel that way. All I know is you doing that makes me feel this way. I don't want to blame you for feeling this way, but I do want you to know that something about what you did or how you handled that made me feel a way. And that's just the surface, right? And then you can just, at that point, now you've conquered and have mastered the ability to say, yo, let me take a look as to why that makes me feel this way. Versus fighting on the surface about why the other person shouldn't do those things so that you don't have to feel that way. No, how about let's address why you would even feel that way if I were to do that. Now, it doesn't mean that that second layer, it doesn't mean that that first layer, rather, can't be resolved and you two can't come to an agreement. You should. But that layer beneath that, where you understand how it triggered your unhealed trauma, or how it triggered your low self-esteem, or how it triggered your lack of sense of self-worth, is really the underlying issue and source. God, the creator, had to force you to see it. So in other words, this forgiveness and guilt card is letting me know, like, forgive your person. Forgive your person for acting up, for not knowing, if that makes sense. I'm going to lay some Moonology cards just to get another layer of this information. So I see some reconnecting taking place in this season. It is, we just entered into spring 2023, although this is a timeless reading. I see some reconnecting and reunions taking place. Yep. And here we go with the Venus new moon in Libra. It's a Venetian energy. You see this harmony, this justice energy, the scales are balanced. This is exactly what had to happen during your separation. You had to balance out. They had to balance out. Now you can come back to the table. The 7th house in astrology is the house of relationships and partnerships, which is governed by Libra, the scales. So for this to come up in a love reading is letting me know, like, okay, individuals have done their work. And if you have not already done the work that you need to do in order to be able to come to the table and connect with another person without pointing the finger at them and blaming them for the way you feel, although they may have acted shitty. But at least saying, yo, you acted a certain way and it triggered an aspect of my emotional realm, of my mental realm. And I'm willing to do the work about my internal landscape. But also, can we discuss what you did and why it hurts me? But you're not fully to blame. And the overarching card is bring love into the situation. New moon in Aquarius letting me know, like, yo, this is a collective thing. This is teamwork makes the dream work. I can get sappy all day. My goodness. A new romantic cycle begins. Now, if you have walked away from a person that no longer serves your highest good, yo, leave that. Just know that you had to have taken or have done your work and have received the messages that you were guided to receive and experience all that you've experienced during that separation from whatever counterpart this is referring to, in order for you to be prepared for the new romantic cycle. Some of you are breaking generational curses around marriage and union for your lineage. This is big. This isn't just a sappy love reading. This is changing the trajectory for you and your family, your lineage, your descendants, and your ancestors that came before you. Love addiction is a thing. And it's only because people get hooked on the things that they begin to need from the other person. And when you break down what those hooks are, it all boils down to what a person wants to feel. So if you make another person responsible for you feeling good about yourself, you're doomed. And that's what the spirits are saying. Look at the bigger picture. That's what they wanted you to see. They wanted you to understand that, yo, you can't be with anyone unless you're able to provide your own internal essential needs. You need to be happy. You need to be sound. You need to be at peace. You need to be in harmony with yourself. And you can't force or require another person to provide that to you. You have to do it on your own. And so reconciliation is here, you guys. It's here. I'm a diviner for me, my family, and for my descendants, and for my community. I take my divination practice seriously. This is not just for the views. So I won't just say whatever will make you happy. The spirits are telling me, and I'm spiritually responsible to deliver messages that are for your highest good. What people don't understand is divination requires a lot of responsibility. Divining for a collective, divining for another person, people who do it for business, this requires a sound individual. And I say all that to say, I digress. I say all that to say, I'm not just saying this to pique your interest or to get you to hit that like button. I'm saying this because this is the message that the spirits are allowing me to give to you. I'm honored to be a chosen diviner. This is the information, this is the message that the spirits are allowing me to give to you. Reconciliation, reunion, or you meeting your person is happening now. It's happening now. And along with that, because you've learned the lessons you were supposed to learn during the separation process, you now are equipped not only to be healthy in a love connection. Key phrase, key concept. Healthy, harmonious union, not addicted, obsessed, codependent union. Healthy, harmonious union. You having the ability to navigate and tap dance or salsa dance or merengue dance, whatever kind of dance you do or like to do, that being a metaphor of you connecting with another person. That dance you do with another person equips you to step out of your comfort zone in more ways than just love, but also career and expansion, because now you have this keen perception about who you are and what you are, about who you are and what you are. And you're able to use this skill, this internal rich landscape to experience a material life. And as you see, this is the Six of Cups, which is the reconciliation card. It's happening, you guys. It's happening. That's my reading for you guys today. May you guys all be blessed and shift into your personal power. Ashe.